What is up, buds? Welcome to Weed&d, the pot-positive live tabletop role-playing experience. I am your dungeon master for the night, Brandon Allen McClenahan, but you can call me Bam. It is so dope to be here with you guys. Last week was just truly special for everybody involved, the cast, everybody that reached out and stuff. It's just something kind of magic that's happening with the show, man. Thanks to all the people that are coming out, making this place so welcoming, for all the new people, all our new buds. We freaking love you. Thanks for taking the time. But honestly, man, just as a creator, these last couple weeks have just been some of the best of my life, just reaching out to all these different creators and feeling that inspiration from all these other people across the spectrum. It's been so freaking great. So thank you from the bottom of all our hearts for everybody that's sharing, commenting, liking, following, subscribing, doing all the stuff that helps us get this thing in front of as many people as we can. We appreciate the hell out of you. And even just for taking the time to see us either on Twitch, Tuesdays at 8, or on YouTube when we do our 420 re-up where we drop each week's session. Freaking A, man. Most importantly, I did want to send one big shout out to all of our buds back west right now. There's some pretty crazy things going on with the wildfires. Our thoughts, prayers, and love go out to all the first responders out there and everybody just trying to help people through a really difficult time. Our thoughts are all with you. We love you guys. We wish nothing but the best for you. So all of us at Weed&d will be sending up our own clouds in your honor. So thank you guys so much. We freaking love you. Isaac hasn't learned any new tricks yet, so what do you have in your food dish right now, Isaac?
Nothing. And my water bowl, empty, still.
And his water bowl is empty. So, all right, you see how things are in the studio here. I think we should say hello to our sexy cast, because the cast of Weed&d is just the best in the land. So I'm going to send this little joint here through the powers of the internet to my girl, Brenna Folger. Brenna, here it comes.
I got it. Hell yeah, Bam, thanks.
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's me, Brenna Folger. You can also call me Brunor, the serpent slayer. And I'm only thinking about a couple things tonight. That's Dungeons, Dragons, and Danica Patrick. Dungeons and Dragons and
Danica Patrick. Dungeons and Dragons and Danica Patrick.
Now to Abby. Oh, there we go. Hey, howdy, hey, buds.
Abby Dandy, aka Tin of Smooth Hands. Smoothest hands in the West. Not a big deal. Pretty chill, pretty cash.
No big
Don't
deal.
mind if you do.
Well, I'm ready to get freaky deaky. Let's get it started. Handing it off to you, Drew.
Boom.
Cheers, baby girl. What's up, buds? Drew, Thorkus the dwarf, fucking chilling in Bucktown, as far as you know. Who knows what's really happening in the forge right now, but shit's getting hot. It's that new, it's that new hotness. Fuck Ildessa, Thorkus coming out on top, and I'm bringing all my friends with me.
Let's not forget the gem from chat last week, Adoricus.
Oh, that's just Adoricus. Best friend, you with me on that? Okay.
Ooh,
Oh yeah, I forgot to pass it.
it's all good, best friend. Hey,
Fucked up.
good evening, buds. Jake Taylor here, once again as Rion El Othravan. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode as I pass this to my buddy Gus.
Yo, appreciate that, Jake. What's up? It's Guns, Two Blunts, Langley checking in as Divot, and I'm gonna just drop the bullshit and get right to the party. Bam, you're up, bro.
Yeah. Oh, it made it back. All right, guys. Well, we got all the, housekeeping stuff out of the way. What do you say we get to the good stuff? We got a little ritual we like to do around here. Maybe you've heard about it. Maybe you haven't. But we like to take a little lighter, like this one I got here in my hand. Make sure we're not going to light anything on fire around us. Hold that bad boy up, and we go lighters up. Play some fucking D&D, guys.
WeeDnD, high fantasy, literally for you and me. So load up bowl and make a roll to take control. WeeDnD.
All right. What do you guys say? I set the mood. I get more ridiculous every week. Oh. These things are serious. When last we left the Ferocious Five, they prepared for their journey around the base of the Malachite Mountains. Their goal? To return the Fey-touched child, Esmerelda, to the Dryad's Kolt, where her adopted father, Kumal, had found her under a cherry tree many years ago. Two blacksmiths forged a bond much stronger than steel, as Thoricus Onyxheart parroted a touching poem, fed to him by Divot through the magic of message, to the elven blacksmith Tanara, who had assisted him in crafting the epic dragon-skin magical armors that the Five now wear. In dealing with the corpse of the priest that Kona had locked in the church with a rampaging wormling, the Five showed leniency. None more than Rial Othravan, who sacrificed his own reputation by taking the responsibility of the death upon his shoulders, saying it was his magic that had ended the priest's life. After a touching burial ceremony performed by Tina Smoothhands, the Five prepared to forge onward once more. We joined them now on the following morning as they prepare for the hardships ahead. All right, guys, we jump back in. It's the morning after we left you all last, after Rial Othravan had discussed with Sumner Milton, Major Domo of the Fellsworn Kingdom, his intention to take the responsibility of the death of the priest of Sylvanus that was caught in the church blaze. After that moment, everybody separated their own ways, and, as is often the case, needed a little time away from each other just to let the mood resettle. You guys awake, the sun's still frozen in the sky in the same position that it has been for weeks. Morning is such a strange concept now, as it feels like it's been the same hour for weeks now. The soft breeze that always blows through the forest mountain town of Emerella, you can feel blowing soft, cool air upon your skin as it blows around and keeps the windmill, even still a little tattered, the windmill ever turning. You look around, each of you, as you kind of start gathering here toward the front, where the horses and the cart and your hoopty are all set up. Brunor, you and Brian decided just to sleep kind of by the river the last night. So, you wake up and you're just kind of taking in the nice sound of the river flowing and, the presence of your dear friend, Brunor. And you feel the sun on your face, and for a moment you don't hate it and your eyes are closed. You feel the beams of light on your face. And then you turn to the right and you start to open your eyes. And there's Esmerelda just staring at you. Doesn't look like she slept. Oh, wink. Those piercing blue Alec Baldwin eyes stare at you with intensity as she, with a completely unremarkable, expressionless face, just stares deeply into your soul.
Alec Baldwin eyes!
He's got Alec Baldwin eyes.
Or Steve Buscemi eyes.
Whoa, hey.
All right, so Brunor, you kind of, sit up and look around. You see just over your shoulder, Rial and Sumner Milton appear to be just kind of discussing the plans. You kind of overhear Sumner telling Rial, it is my intention to stay here in Emerella, to bring troops and help support this. As Thoricus had recommended, it's best if we have a line, a supply line, a safe haven to return to. So we shall rebuild the church. We will have the windmill blades, changed out from the damage. We will do our best to bring peace back to these poor people. You see, he kind of looks around and realizes that this moment is coming to a draw. You see his eyes well up a little bit when he looks at you, Rial, and he says, I feel I've said far too many goodbyes to you in our short time together. I do hope, Rial Othravan, that we meet again. Holds out the arm. Rial, you take it. Yeah, you take the arm, nice, another touching moment between the two of you. You kind of look over, you're like, man, what's everybody up to? You see Tina kind of over here, closer to this tent, has managed to build a small fire and she seems to be cooking you guys up some food or something. You're not really paying too much attention to her. You did see her kind of digging around where the corpse of the dragon was a little bit, and then she returned back to her fire. Rial, again, as you kind of like look around and, you're all just kind of touching base with each other, you see that Divot actually slept in the ballista last night, like right where Thoricus had launched him from before. You look over and you see Divot just smoking one of his cigars, skeleton hand out, the sun just kind of cascading on him, and you see him, it looks like he just spent the whole night in the ballista. The only way you can tell that is because there's several bottles of alcohol just empty underneath him where he sits.
I make eye contact with him, and I'm like, I don't know about you, but I slept like the dead.
Yes. And then, as you kind of, you guys have mostly at this point got, all your equipment and everything together. We kind of did like if there was things you wanted to take care of in town last session. Obviously, if there's anything you want to throw in, feel free. But in this moment, the kind of the last member of the five to be missing, you see as the kind of shade that covers the door that leads to the forge opens, you see Thoricus, Onyx Heart, kind of stepping out, fitting his armor again as if he's just put it back on. You see kind of in a very beautiful, touching moment, the elven blacksmith Tanara comes out, and you all observe with a great tenderness as she prepares him and wraps, his inner cloth wraps underneath his armor. And yes, it seems that indeed there's a kind of a great bit of affection between the two. Thoricus, you're getting ready and preparing, not one for big PDAs or anything like that. And she respects that about you as well. She kind of looks over at all your friends who are doing a terrible job of not looking at you right now. Yeah, everybody's just like, oh, right now. And you see, she looks and she says, it's good that you have friends like this, Thoricus. I worry you may forget me. Here, while you're asleep, I made this. And she reaches into a shawl. She pulls out this small piece of black stone, and it looks as if it's part stone and rock. You're very familiar with it, having had it stuck to your hand for a very long time. But you see, she's polished it and shined it, so it looks like a bright, shining bit of onyx. And she's shaved it down into the shape of a small black onyx heart. And she kind of hands it forward to you, and her eyes drop to the other stone that's on your weapon. And she kind of hands it to you, with a little bit of intent. And she says, I hope you don't forget about me. I won't forget about you.
I couldn't forget about you. For everything that you've done for us as a group. But seriously, you're fucking awesome.
She, feeling the same tension in the air that you do, quickly changes the subject, and she looks at the many great works that the two of you managed to make. Just this story alone, the forging of such great pieces of armor in a day, that itself is its own legend, and she feels touched to be a part of this long legacy of the world and Thoric's Onyx Heart. And she begins kind of appreciating the metalworks that you've made and looks over at each of your friends, and you see her eyes kind of shine the way yours do when you look at, a finely crafted piece. And she, with kind of a parting goodbye, says, we forged many strong weapons. It was my honor. And she kind of bows in front of you. And she turns and kind of with a soft waves to each of you guys as well. But trying to spare herself a hard goodbye, you see she just returns to the forge. And almost, again, to accentuate the haste in which she does so, you see the billows of the forge immediately start kicking up fire, like she's immediately just gone back to work.
Oh.
No, not like that. She's like, no,
Oh,
he's
okay.
gone. Let me finish this up real quick.
I wave, I say goodbye, but then I also return to the breakfast that I'm cooking, and what I'm doing is I'm trying to show my love to the group in the most halfling way possible, and that's through food.
Yes.
So I'm cooking a meal for everybody.
Both first and
I'm
second
also-
breakfast.
Yes. And I couldn't resist grabbing some of the dragon bones, so I could, I have this new ability, Augury, and I want to look into the future a little bit. I'm gonna use breakfast as an opportunity to see if I can guide our path.
We're having a future breakfast?
Yeah,
I always eat my
Making, like,
second
some
breakfast
dope-ass
first.
dragon broth soup or some shit like that. You're gonna fucking see the future? That's dope.
So yes, Tina Smoothhands has reached a much stronger level of connection with Shantia than she ever really felt with Tharizdun. Whereas before she felt like a tool, just exerting the will of Tharizdun, this trickster god in the world, never committing too strongly to any one place, always on the go. Through Shantia, Tina, you have connected to this river of love and life. And though it would seem in opposition to your upbringing, the daughter of a criminal overlord, the coming from the life on the road and the many challenges that come with it, you have found this overwhelming sense of peace in this new power that just surges through you in these moments. Even you are not immune to these grandiose displays of magic that are starting to occur around you, and so you're watching as your faith is rewarded with power. And so in that same turn, you now take your power in an attempt to communicate through faith. So as you cook your breakfast and you grab some of the local herbs that you picked from the plants nearby, and you really connect into the nature side of the goddess of Shantia and finding food from the earth and providing that sense of wholeness for your friends, allies, and even yourself. You begin kind of making this, through a ritual, you kind of start casting augury as this breakfast that you're making. And through the imbued, small bones that you manage to pick off the corpses of these dragons, the just magical nature of these bones themselves, you go about making an augury breakfast. And so, do me a favor, cast the spell. This is the first time we're using it on the show, so I would like everybody, including your team, to know what it is. This is one of my favorite spells in the game, I'm not gonna lie. Because it's a rare opportunity for the player and the DM to kind of talk to each other. It's also notoriously easy for me to manipulate this and make you feel a different way about things. So,
Oh, great.
all right, so augury. I'm going to go and read this one. Like I said, whenever we use new stuff, I'm going to try to explain it. A lot of our audience, as much as I love it, some of you guys are new, so I like to explain how these powers work as well as the narrative function of them. So yes, as you go about creating this breakfast, you receive an omen from an otherworldly entity about the results of a specific course of action that you plan to take within the next 30 minutes. The GM chooses from the following possible outcomes. So wheel would mean it's good. Woe would mean it's bad. Wheel and woe would mean good or bad, or good and bad together. And one of the results potentially is nothing, which is for things that aren't particularly good or bad. In the way Tina is choosing to use her augury, she's actually speaking directly with her deity, with Shantia. And so as you channel this power, this love, this harmony with growth and wholeness, you put it into this meal, and you stop cooking like a chef, and you start casting like a spellcaster. And so you see as these dragon bones stir the pots of the breakfast stew that you're making. And you don't tend to the fire, you let the fire tell you what it's going to be. And so in this moment, Tina, I'm eager to know, what are you asking Shantia?
In my heart, I'm conflicted. There's so many things, so many questions we all need to know the answer for right now. And to be honest, this spell is pretty limiting.
True. Yeah, it's not like, hey, what's up, God? Hey, it's your girl Tina. Yeah, no, it's very, it's you know how vague I love to be. This spell fits right into that.
And I've tried to be strategic, but I just want to know if there's. I don't know how to phrase it, is the thing.
Do all dogs go to heaven?
Yeah, is that it?
Wheel.
After we've brought I forget the creepy girl's name. What's her name?
Esmeralda.
Esmeralda. You know.
The completely unremarkable child.
After, yeah, she's so unremarkable. I can't. I get a ball.
That's why you couldn't remember her name.
Yeah.
Right.
Those eyes, Shantia. After we've finished our journey with her, will we converge with the dragons again? Is there a path to the dragon's lair?
Ooh. Okay. All right. So, Tina, you step back, and you, as the dish, begins to kind of prepare itself through your magic, you step even further back, and you stop controlling the magic. And as you've learned with Shantia, unlike the lightning bolt of energy that you used to control, it's like a river that flows through you. And so you just open yourself up, and you allow the beautiful morning, the soft breeze in the trees, the cool wind, just to blow over your skin. And as this warmth of intention begins to spill out of you, that magic essence that permeates from you in these glorious moments happens again. You see as a beam of sunlight, splits in the sky and immediately washes down on you. As you set your head down, your dragon skull helmet's, on still, glowing with the shimmering roses, some still moving, dying, being reborn in the moment. And you look down at the meal, and the campfire puts itself out. And you look at each individual dish, and every single one of them is perfectly made. So, in game mechanics sense, wheel. Good outcome. You see the dragon bones simmer down in the pots themselves. You kind of scoop them out just to not have your friends eat them, or have Brian, with a something he's got to get out of his throat. And you pocket those. So you can always use those bones. I love the idea of doing it as breakfast. That's amazing. And so yes, the dragon bones themselves will more than suffice for the material components if you were to need to cast that later. Now again, just a sheer mechanics thing, Tina casted it as a ritual. So some casters, most of the pure caster classes, can cast a spell, and it takes 10 minutes longer to cast, but it doesn't count against their spell slots. So she still has all of her spell slots, but it took 10 extra minutes while, each of these beautiful kind of funny character theme moments happen all around. But yes,
I just tuck
once
those
more,
bones back in my bag.
there it is. You you pop them in a small spot, and you look up. You see all your everybody's kind of remotely gathered. Does anybody have any last minute things they want to do? Do you guys just want to kind of gather and have breakfast? How would you like to play that?
I would love to have breakfast.
Yeah.
I was stoking that fire all night long.
Yeah.
I think Bruno.
A lot of blacksmithing.
Jeez. I think Bruno would appreciate a good brekkie.
Once you go blacksmithing,
Go get some
you
fucking
never go
French
back
toast.
smithing.
The French toast.
You guys are great. All right. Cool. So yeah, Tina, the moment's on you. You see as, there's been some kind of heaviness between the various members of the group, a little intoxication at times, some everybody kind of dealing with things. You notice the levity of this morning has kind of, has brought a nice fresh breath of air to each of you. A little private time, a little quiet time did good for all of your souls. And so yes, you look up, and the first one walking up, you see is Thoricus. He's ended his moment with Tanara, and comes up and scoops up a big bowl and eats it the way a military man does, where his elbows are kind of out, and he's worried other people are going to try to get in at his bowl a little bit. So yeah, you start spooning away at some of this delicious stew.
You're hungry from last night, aren't you, Thoricus?
I'm famished.
I'm sure. Well,
Yes.
I enjoy.
Thank you.
Drew, you two taste the bounty of Shantia within. It's twice the meal that you've ever had before. Again, you guys actually haven't sat down and had a good meal, maybe some dry rations on the road, but the home cooking mixed in with just the little bit of the pinch of magic provided by your nature life cleric has gone a great way to filling you back up. Delicious.
The extra bit of love. And that was my main goal. I just wanted to draw everybody together. So I scoop up a bowl myself and sit right next to him, joshing him, pushing him around. You know, stop being so tense, Thoricus. Eat.
Stop it.
So the five are gathered again.
It's delicious.
I walk up, Bruno walks up with Brian, and then I'm like, are you guys joshing each other over here?
It's Josh time.
You guys all joshing? Are we just joshing? And I pick up a bowl, and I start eating, and it's amazing. And I'm not eating it quite like Thoricus. I have a little bit more,
Respect for yourself?
a little bit more, yeah. Actually, I have a little bit more respect than that, so I do eat a little bit more reserved, but it's so good that I eat it so fast, like as if somebody's going to take it away from me, but they're not.
No,
You never know with divot around.
I'm eating
Watch
it,
that
and
sleight
I
of
think
hand.
It's great, but I'm critical of my cooking, and I think it could use some bread to dip in it.
Yes. A little bread.
This is Tina, this is amazing. Thank you so much for making this. What is it made from?
Oh, I picked some leaves, and you didn't think that they would taste good, but steep them long enough, and you add a little bit of just some herbs that you find around, and there was this chicken, and I skinned him, plucked him, and delicious, and now you're eating it.
All this morning?
No dragon meat, right? Did you put any dragon meat in there?
No dragon meat in the actual thing. No.
I'm not gonna lie. I wanted you guys to trip on some mushroom tainted dragon meat. I was like, did you want to throw some dragon in there, Tina? Maybe there was some dragon in there. No. The moment's
I
passed.
definitely want to make some dragon meat jerky.
There you go. There you go. Who knows if it lasts through the salting process? We'll find out. Tune in next time.
So I also
Salty is your dragon.
I give a couple of little chunks to Brian as well, and I kind of sit with him, leaning up against him, and just eating and kind of giving him some. And
Yeah, you guys are just ever the best of friends. Happy to be back. You're doing all the he'll poke his head up under your arm, and then you'll drop the food, and then he'll let it land and bite around from the other side. You're like, oh, you still a little slithery. It's for you guys, you've gotten used to Brian's thing, but it's the connection that you see between these two is unlike, most crocodiles, just wild creatures. And you see a level of friendship, intelligence, and genuine love between the two of them. So it's kind of a cute little moment. Again, just a light morning after several heavy days that you've had leading up to this.
And you know what?
Cook again. Thanks, friends.
You're welcome. Thank you. And you know what? I want to josh around with you guys. I'm gonna start joshing too.
It seems like a nice day for a light morning.
You see Brunor just joshing around. Brunor, give me a joshing check. Just roll me a d20. We're gonna.
What would you like me to roll?
Just roll a d20 for a
Okay.
joshing check. I'm gonna give you Brenda's modifier +4, 14 on your joshing check. Let me say, you guys have seen better joshing, but in the moment, it's prime joshing that you're getting out of
It's what we
Brunor.
needed,
Yes.
Hashtag good enough.
Hashtag good enough, baby.
Good enough joshing. Good enough.
The 5, good enough.
Yep.
If rules, technically they have seen better joshing, but
Yes, yeah, if you were really, you don't want to break the mood by bringing it up, but you're if I was being honest about the joshing that I've seen in my life, there have been a few other examples where maybe the joshing was a little harder, a little heavir. I felt my knee, I slapped my knee, it was just shy of a knee slap.
Maybe I didn't but it's fine. We're not here to be professional joshers.
Yes.
You know what?
Right.
It's okay. I'll just stop joshing then. It's fine. I'll just.
So the joshing ends.
Oh.
And you guys are looking around, as is often the case, you forget that Esmeralda is standing there. You're just, there she is again, You see she's got a bowl of soup. You see floating past her face is this bowl full of this breakfast stew. You're like, what the crap, this bowl? And then you see it, of course, floats right to Rial Othravon. With your little invisible mage hand, you've managed to pour yourself a delicious breakfast stew bowl. And yeah, you guys are, let's this would be the last moments before you would set off. You see people from around the town wanting to be a part of this moment. Two people you haven't seen in a little while, Kona and his boy Tovas, kind of come up here around the way. Up the other alley, you see Albie and Emily and Kumal, moving down. I want you to know, if you'll notice, I did update the tokens this time.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not changing his though.
No.
His is still. This is it. So Kumal is all. This one will be weird to listen to and not watch. But yes, Kumal walks up with either of his children, and even Tanara kind of steps out and looks around from the corner of the forge. You guys are legends, and this small town will always be linked to your future destinies, your path to heroics, and the legacy of the Five. And you look around, and you kind of, once more, a town looking at you, in this moment. Any of you guys want to say anything, or would you like to just pack up and head out?
You get your own goddamn breakfast. This is mine.
I got something. I got a little something. So, I noticed the weird vibes last time. So I don't want to make eye contact with Tina, but I want to thank her very heartily and just say, I've never tasted a memory before, because this is the first home-cooked meal I've had in, decades.
Yes.
Probably at this point.
Yes.
So this one really just, it's warm soup and a warmer heart.
Yum.
Yum.
Yes, my sister, we will tell tales of how magical this breakfast was.
That's all we're going to talk about.
Right?
The legends of the Five and the really good breakfast.
I see what Rial's trying to do, and it's still hard for me to meet his gaze, and I'm just annoyed by Divot, so I am trying to move past that. Sorry.
Just eat your breakfast.
But I see what Rial's trying to do, and it's painful for me to look him in the eyes, but I do. And say thank you.
And in that moment, Tina, you do see the eyes of Rial Othravon. Not the eyes of Sithis, not the dream, the nightmare that you had, the void, the image you've seen, the prophecy of this painting. You look and you see the kind face, the silver hair, the kind eyes, the pointy, the almost naive Rial Othravon, low on worldly experiences, the bright shining eyes. You do see your ally, given the you took the risk and looked him in the eye, and that is what you see when he looks back at you.
Still hurts.
All right, you see Sumner Milton basically is giving, he hands a small pouch to Esmerelda, and he's like, oh yes, here's some food, child, and some things, a bedroll. Try not to get in their way. We're all trying to do what's best for you, girl. And you see she just...
I also kind of interrupt while he's talking to that child, and I very coldly just take her away from him. I don't even acknowledge him. I've been ignoring him this whole time. I want nothing to do with him. He's dead to me.
Yeah.
So I just kind of coldly just take her and
grab her
just
by the
remove her.
wrist. Yeah, you see, you pull in such a way that her little hand comes up and hits him in the dumb, stupid shame, wrap that he has, just to really it kind of shoots up and tassels him in the face a little bit. Just, you're like, don't forget, And yeah, he's not, he can't be trusted with children, as Brunor knows. And so yeah, you walk up and grab the child and pull him away. You see Sumner understands. Again, he's not trying to fight you. He would probably agree with the sentiment of what you're trying to say. And so, yeah, you can take the bag from her if you want, or just let her have it. You do kind of look through it. You're like, Sumner. You do just see some foodstuffs, a bedroll, just some general road supplies that he's put together for her.
He really is a big dummy dum-dum. He forgot he forgot her favorite toy, so I'm gonna zip over to the Kumal house and grab that.
Perfect. Yeah, you run past. You actually literally run right past Kumal. You know, you see him laying there in the road, like, "Hey, oh, yeah," and you run by. You hear the kids all kind of playing around. You know, they kind of group up, and you know, kids don't realize family drama, so they just kind of like connect with each other and start playing around, running around between all of you guys, just like, "Oh yeah, the five," and you know, and having a good time. They're kind of like funny, scared of Divot. They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna go up and touch his hand," and then they're like creeping up on you, and then you turn and they're like, "Ah!" and run away. You know, but it's kind of a nice, touching moment where like some normal kids, you know, not mercenaries' children like in Buraka, but just like some normal kids just fangirling out and fanboying out over you guys. You know, Brian the Crocodile's being very good. He's being a good boy, not taking any snips or bites at them, because he's a good boy. So yeah, Rial, you run back. You see the house of Kumal still kind of in tatters, as far as like there's paint thrown all over the place, and there's these like jetting, you know, streaks of like blood from where her fingertips were bleeding after she was done painting, and you see laying there by where she painted, you know, her little stuffed bird toy, and yeah, you know, grab it up and run back. Boom. All right, so yeah, you run up. You see the little girl. You see Esmerelda is with Brunor right now. So if you want to run up and give it to her, you can.
Yeah. No, you know what? I'm gonna give the toy kind of behind the back to Brunor and just sort of whisper like it's her favorite. She might not show it, but it's her favorite.
So
Yes, she has favorites.
what a good, nice. Okay, so I just kind of like, I hear you say that, and I go, "Ah, gotcha," and I kind of sweep it over, and I go, "Oh, and I think actually this was," I kind of like put it in the bag as well, like when I'm looking through it, and I go, "It looks like also this was a part of it," and I like pull it out of the bag to give it to her, like it was in the bag the whole time.
And you see Esmeralda looks at you.
And then I just kind of like
Just blank.
push it at her a couple times, like on her face, maybe like gently kind of like bat it. All right, we'll just keep it in the bag.
Her hands finally come up once you've lost your patience slowly, and they grab the toy and they hold it close. And you swear, Brunor, you see just the smallest muscle in the corner of her mouth. I'm not gonna say it moves, but you see it like there is a flutter. There's definitely a flutter, and you see it. You see the.
Like maybe it's like, is this in my head? I may have just wanted to see that, but I'll just, all right. Like I really wanted to see that. I'm just make up. So okay, cool. So I start.
And then you see she reaches up, and she, like she had with Rial, and has not with anybody else. You see she reaches up, Brunor, and her little hand grabs your fingers. So it does seem that idea has worked. She does seem to be kind of like you're big sis, you know. She seems to be going with you and Brian. And you remember you had given Brian the task of being her protector. And you see Brian the Crocodile, his 10-foot long body propped up, chest out, proud like a true warrior, taking really high, unnecessary steps as he walks over to the little girl. And you see him kind of present his shoulder as he leans down, and she runs up. She doesn't laugh because she would never do that, but she runs up, and you see she turns around again, completely expressionless, and she sits down and kind of like grabs one hand on the little wings that are floating there, and her other hand is clutching this stuffed animal, but her face is completely unremarkable.
Cool. I want to high five Rial for that.
The high five.
The highest.
High five! It's two elves, a croc, and an unremarkable child. The new sitcom here on Weed&d.
All right, so you guys pretty much kind of wrap up. You see, Kona doesn't. The only person that really wants to like engage and speak with you is Sumner, and he's kind of said his goodbyes. You know, it's kind of the idea is he's like, "Don't worry, I'll look over these people. I will send your message back," and he wants you to continue onward. in this, we'll say in this exchange in the night before and the next day and everything, Kumal made sure to tell you that since you have the carriage, the fastest way would literally just be follow the main road around through the forest of the Malachite Mountains. Eventually, it will lead you to a crossroads, and when you reach the crossroads, if you go to the left, it will then run you to the cherry tree. So, and he says you can't miss this cherry tree. So, I also want you to know that I did say peach cherry blossom tree one time, and I don't know what that is. So that's not a D&D thing. That's not like, oh, in D&D they have peach cherry blossoms. Yes. You see, that's where I went. And now we're back.
Yeah, in Kung Fu Panda, I think they were peach blossoms.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
They kind of looked like a cherry blossom tree in traditional Japanese style. Yeah.
Yeah.
It freaked me out too.
Yeah, it was weird for all of us, and I apologize. A week later. All right. So yeah, what's the arrangement gonna be? So the hoopty's not the biggest, but you guys have kind of managed to finagle your way around it. Again, let's never worry about the token for this cart because it's a bunch of different tokens put together, and I'm not sure I could ever get it to stay together. So I'm doing my best.
The horses!
Yeah. Yeah, they're just everywhere. Carl, fuck!
So yes, there is, with Brian the crocodile, you guys have already, he's basically broken the sides of this wooden cart to the point where he slides his body in and about a foot to 2 feet of his nose and a foot to 2 feet of his tail kind of stick out on either side. So if you ever wanted to like clothesline anybody, you could try
Brian
that.
fast enough to keep up with the hoopty?
What's that?
Is Brian fast enough to keep up with the hoopty?
So Brian is fast enough at his base speed. However, horses sprint faster than him. So if you guys are like going at a steady pace, the horses will outrun him. Although he is extremely adept at land travel especially for a crocodile, he's not, as fast. He can't like trot along with horses for an extended period of time. In a jam for a little while, yeah, he could probably sprint and keep up. But as far
I was
as
trying
like,
to figure out how we were going to be riding.
yeah, and the Esmerelda doesn't really take up any space because you always keep forgetting about her anyway. You're like, I'm not even concerned with where she's at. But yeah, you've got there's the 4 horses. There's the driver's seat. You could fit up to 2 people on that front. You guys would be sitting kind of tight. And then, like I said, there's the other bench inside where you could kind of put your feet up on Brian inside that could hold 4. So yeah, however you guys want to kind of arrange.
That's enough.
Okay.
That's all of us.
I drive. Me.
Okay.
Eddie.
Drive?
Yeah.
I'll go up with you.
All right,
Take a
so
horse.
we've got Brunor is driving, yes?
Yeah.
I'll take a horse too.
Shoddy. Brunor, are you driving? Are you like steering all the horses? So are you on the front of the cart?
Yeah, I'm on the front of the cart.
Cool.
If people are riding on horses, yeah, a little bit of, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, they can take separate horses?
Yeah, we've allowed people to ride on the horses. Your top end speed would be slowed a little bit, but you guys aren't necessarily sprinting everywhere.
That's still dope.
But yeah,
I
you
wanna
guys can
use
ride
my,
along the front.
I want to use my trick again with the minor illusion, like some kind of vegetation in front of them. If it gives us any speed boost,
Love it.
I'm for it.
Love
we got
it.
7 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old prestidigitation carrot and the stick. You play upon the hungry stomachs of your animals, and it does work. It gives you that little extra boost while you guys tax the strength of the animal a little bit by riding on it.
I just want to lay on the roof.
Nice.
Yeah, divot.
Well played.
All right, so Divot, yeah, you hop up on the roof.
No, I wanted to say before we leave, like Sumner's, I know we talked about it before and I was super high, but he's sending people to Buraka and to Tilmore to get Ubaru and Aleo and his dad and all the other
Yeah, the idea is to make this the forward camp now, right? So gather your key NPCs and have them here, right? That's the idea?
Yeah, kind of
Perfect.
secure the route and all that and just have everyone in the know. Okay. Sorry,
Yeah. So basically, the Stone Reaver mercenaries from Buraka will kind of patrol the roads, kind of fitting that new protector spirit of the Stone Reavers from Buraka, the ones born of Thoricus Onyxheart himself. Ubaru, we'll say Vix is going to Buraka. Wedge will, the one with the mole, whichever one, will continue on to the Tillmore refugee camp and kind of bring the key players back into one location. So yes, that's the idea. Sumner basically is willing to do whatever you guys want. So if that's what you explain to him, then that's what's happening. Vix and Wedge have already taken off, but that would have been the idea agreed upon before they did. So yeah.
I just don't want to miss out on that in case.
And from having done this, it'll take them probably 2 days. It'll take a day to get there and a day to bring everybody back. So you're about 2 days off from having, your like a small, home base, a kind of an idea, for the first time in your group.
Right.
And you've got a couple ballistas around. It's not a bad spot. So.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So yeah, you guys, this is it. The town kind of watches. Everybody kind of quietly on looking as the Ferocious Five once more. Start to assemble toward their destiny. All the new shining dragon scale armors that each of you have, the cloaks, the claws, the many accessories forged through the blacksmith ballet of Chinara, the elven blacksmith, and Thoricus, the dwarven smith. And, even you guys in this moment kind of feel like this is some larger step toward a much bigger picture that's starting to come into focus. Still a lot of unknowns, but you certainly know the direction that everything is pointing. You know of the Shekinda prophecy. Whether or not you believe it has any power is something else. But you're now starting to understand that these deeds, these heroic acts are all leading towards some much larger destiny, and each of you has decided to confront this new destiny with the other members, and so in a moment of unity with the group, as you all kind of assemble your various positions on and about the carriage, you see the entire town kind of on looking once more, similar to when you left Tillmore. They're hoping for a pretty heroic goodbye. They want the exclamation point on the end of this journey. So I will leave it to you all how you decide to leave, but you have the attention of all the living members of this village as you turn your cart and get ready to go.
I just want everybody here to remember one thing about me before we go, and that is he was like that when I got there. So just keep that in mind.
That's legit. That checks out.
And then I sit down and I kind of slowly gather. I'm just kind of situating myself. I make sure Brian's away. I just kind of then drop off and go do.
You see Kumal's just like,
Help yourself to any leftover soup.
And you see it pretty immediately. Everybody's like, yeah, all right.
It's delicious.
Yeah,
I
they start
can
getting
also,
down.
that also checks out.
Yeah, it serves as a healthy second breakfast.
Yes.
All right.
I would like to pull out old Trusty Dusty and a very special arrow that I have in my quiver, and just take aim at the door frame. I know it's kind of not like that, how the forge is and where we are, but where Tanara's standing.
Yeah.
And just shoot directly at her to miss, and then she can hopefully find the note that is attached to the arrow that I actually took some time to write in my own words that weren't fed to me by someone else.
Most of them.
Okay, you did help a little, okay? I'm not saying that you didn't help. I'm just saying I wrote most of them.
You definitely
Fuck.
wrote all the words down, yeah.
Anyway.
I just had to mute because I cackled so hard thinking about you killing her. I laughed like.
You mean nothing.
Just ice her.
Thanks for the free armor, bitch.
No, there is no other Lucille. The arrowhead is the black onyx
Wow.
heart.
You're so dark.
I just
that you do where just no sound comes out, and I was like, I gotta mute before I like take in a deep breath. I was like,
All right,
wow, great.
Thoricus, you shoot the arrow. You see old trusty Dusty twangs, and as you let go of the thing, a little tuft of cloud puffs off from its namesake, the film of dust, because you almost never use it. And you see the arrow flies through the air, and Tanara, in an impressive display of dexterity, manages to catch the message on the arrow, and the arrow continues by and blows past.
Sploosh.
Damn.
You see, she looks at it, she looks at you, she gives it a small kiss, and she holds it to her heart. She saves the moment for herself. She then turns and walks back into the forge.
Good.
Beautiful.
Dude, that was fucking nice.
Let's go.
Wow.
Shut up.
It was beautiful.
Come on. Let's just go.
Sword.
Stop.
You see the other villagers start chiming in.
Come on.
Yeah, I
They
start
harmonize.
stomping on the roof of the carriage, like and clapping or whatever. And I get a little chant song going about us, obviously.
Yes.
And I get the village hype, and I want them to be in a good mood, and I want them to be like super in a good mood, and then for us to be able to leave, and them not really notice.
All right. So, Divot,
Ghosted.
the power that you haven't called upon quite as much in these recent days, your proficiency as a glamour bard and an ability beyond any other to put on a show. You pulling from the pink, purple, swirling magic that your original core came from, you start channeling into this moment. You see as people chew and the hearts beat in the moment, and you look around at the natural rhythms that are going on around you, and you start this rhythm, and it starts building. You know, the breeze itself seems to bend the way that it does through your magic so often, and you see all the villagers kind of put their food down and they look up. So, what magical spectacle will you create for these villagers, Divot?
So I don't want to scare them. So
Noted.
on the flip side of what I would normally do, I'm just going to, I want to turn into, yeah, I'm irreverent. Yeah, I want to turn into the god that they I want to look like the god that they worship at that church that we burned down.
Sylvanas.
That's good. Because I thought you were going to say demons.
No, so I want to impersonate Sylvanas.
Hordes of demons!
I never-
I'm scared of that.
I
I'm afraid
don't approve.
you're gonna burn off your eyelashes.
And I just
Don't
wanna
try
be
that
like,
at home.
I am possessed by the spirit of Sylvanas, and he says, or she says, or the spirit says that that the five need your help, and that they are right, and they are awesome, and
Acorns.
You start growing into this giant tree, man. Blooming nature, swirling flowers, vines growing out of your body as this magic kind of imbues you and fills you up to this giant 10-foot-tall visage of this, figure, half man, half tree. You stand before them and you start shaking your great branches, and all these acorns start falling down. Magical, not real acorns, but they fall down like a creative effect nevertheless. And you see as the children just start going wild and running around, the adults seem to be standing with this reverence as you see the natural love of their deity on the eyes of each of the villagers. And they connect with the moment that you're trying to make.
And I also yelled at them like, live your life, do what you want to do. All that stuff I said about being being super stuffy, forget it.
flip that and reverse it. So yes, again, divot through the use of your performance magic. Let me get a performance check here. Let's see how you did.
Goodness.
He's good with performance, so
Like,
we're not.
The only way he's gonna fail is if he rolls a 1.
Which A1's happen, yeah.
He's been rolling, so
Okay, no, he got a 23. He gets to add 7 to that 16. So with a 23 on your performance, divot exactly as prescribed. Your amazing magical performance has transfixed these simple villagers, and well, there's some pretty big haunches there. Tanara's a haunch. Sumner Milton's kind of a haunch. But yeah, you see as all the onlookers get caught up in the power of your message, and as the dust, begins to clear, as the horses begin to go, and Brunor, you guide the four with the reins, and you all feel, Divot, you lay back down, kind of put your arms behind your back, and you're looking up at the sky. And as the carriage starts moving, again, it's a hoopty, so you're feeling the drag and the bump of the road. You look up in the sky, and for a moment, you see the red mask of death appear in the sky, as if he's watching you, and always will be.
That's creepy.
And that's where we're going to pick it up after intermission, guys. Ooh, all right, guys. Woo! Yes.
Am I not supposed to impersonate gods? Is that bad business?
Yeah, it's, it could go either way. You guys, you were lucky there. Yes, no, great stuff, guys. I love you guys. I freaking love this. I love you guys so much. I love the buds. I love live chat. I love this whole experience. Honestly, like we say it all the time, but like for real, this is our rock right now. So thanks to everybody involved. This is just so dope. I can't wait to get back. Now, we are going to start doing a little thing here. Sandy Stein makes all this incredible music for the show, and unfortunately, it has to hide behind the wonderful voices of all the performers in this show. And so I think it's important now, as Sandy brings us in new incredible music, we're going to be adding it to the intermission. So take a look at tonight at the intermission. Sandy has created some absolutely wonderful new music. There's new fan art. There's our art director, Vlad, is just pumping out some amazing stuff. Some of the monsters of Ganjaria. You're going to see that stuff. If you like these tunes and you're on Twitch right now, hashtag WeeDnD, that enters you for a chance to win a selection of the soundtrack from episodes 1 through 20 of Weed&D. So thank you guys. We're going to be back in 10 minutes. I'm sure right now somebody just hosted us with a bunch of people, because that's what happens every single week. So our just keep with us, guys, as we're going to be bringing you some thunder in Act 2. Boom. Finger guns. Fade to black on finger guns.
ooh.
What's up, buds? Welcome back to Weed&d, the pop positive tabletop role-playing extravaganza. So, we are just gonna dive right back in from our break, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody else hanging out. And all of a sudden, the five see this dark cloud come down over everything, and everyone's very concerned about it, except for Divot, who all of a sudden feels this boon from the darkness and gets like +8 to every ability possible. In addition to that, everyone around him is suddenly feeling very, very generous. They start wanting to give the most important, interesting, magical items and devices that they have over to him because they are immediately drawn to his beauty and charisma.
And they're sexually attracted to him.
Exactly. For example, Thoricus unable to stop himself, takes the jewel off of his axe and places it around Divot's neck.
Whoa! What the crap is this?
You want me to go back to the...
Go back. You know the rules. Go back. Go.
Whoa! Hey, what's up, man?
Hey.
Hey, did you guys know Isaac is real?
Help!
Can I feed him?
No, do not feed him. He is not to be fed.
Alright, sorry, man.
Go to your camera. It's in the other room. Sorry about that, buds. Some people don't know when to say when.
What is up, buds? Welcome back to Weed&d, the positive live tabletop role-playing experience. I am your dungeon master, not that imposter, whoever that was. But hey guys, freaking I have ash all over my face. Gus is in town. I'm sorry, that was just too wonderful a moment. Gus, we love seeing you, buddy. I freaking, it warms my heart. I can't wait for all you guys to see all these people in this room together when we can do this show safely for all involved. So thanks for coming back, guys. We're about to jump into a pretty kick-ass second half. And we're gonna go ahead with the soundtrack. And we join the Ferocious Five. And I put my headphone in. And once more, we join the Ferocious Five on the roads leading through the forests of just outside of Emerella as they wind around the path toward the toward the other side of the Malachite Mountains. The horses have picked up pretty good speed. You guys are putting some good distance behind you. The impending weight of the oncoming armies, 7 days, probably now a little closer to 6.5, until the armies arrive. Now, just from DM to players, they're not all showing up to attack or anything. I just didn't want my intention misread, but they will be arriving at that time. So, yes, the looming shadow of these heavy armies, the mechanized force of the dynasty that Divot explained. You guys are all kind of once more together, but looking off in different directions as you ride down the roads. Thoricus, your eyes directly in front of you as the cart, makes its way down the forest path. And you notice that the road itself is starting to curve a little bit farther away from the river that ran next to Emerella. You're getting into more dense woods. And Rial and Brunor as well, are more nature-oriented players. You guys seem to notice, again, the strange, out-of-place autumn and winter trees just kind of like peppered in throughout the forest. The time of year not right for these trees. And instantly, it's just kind of one more of these out-of-place things. If you'll recall, before Emerella, you guys came upon an area that had these like strange vines that were like growing out and snatching people out of these big giant mushrooms that were strangely growing in the area as well. So there does seem to be this kind of strange change in the air that you can't really put your finger on. It's too sporadic and random to have any clear, definite purpose. But you guys are, riding along the road. You hear the old wooden wheels of the hoopty cart, just trying its best to hold itself together as you, continue on down the road. Finally, you come around a bend, and everybody out front. So Thoricus, Brunor, Tina, you're all on. Yep. Tina, you're on the horse. Divot, you're on the roof. Rial, where were you at? Are you inside?
I'm on a horse as well.
You're on a horse as well. All right, so you're all out in the front. You're kind of coming around this bend, and in front of you is a large straightaway. You see the road itself has kind of deteriorated in this region as if it's not upkept very well, so deep into the forest. You're kind of surrounded on either sides. You see a great orange tree and a yellow tree up to the right ahead of you as you kind of come bearing down. And you look, and it looks like the road just kind of continues on for a great distance. And then in a flash, suddenly, you know, about 60 feet in front of you, there's this like mirage of like an image, you know, zipping across itself. And then standing there in the middle of the road, let me bring you guys over.
Oh, Lordy.
Oh,
Here we go.
boss is DOS.
Is this big, giant, hooded, green-robed figure.
Cool.
So you kind of see it standing there. It stands about 10 feet tall. The big, giant green robes that hang over its face hide the actual face behind them almost entirely. They hang so heavily, so far down, much farther than you would assume like eyes would be. Large brown shoulder pads, big brown boots, and big sturdy brown leather gloves. This impending figure standing about 10 foot by 10 foot, you know, just a big, like built like a brick shithouse. This giant green robed figure appears in the road. And as Bruno, you're actually steering the horses. What do you do?
I was gonna say I'd like to stop, and then I'd also kind of want to. I can see them clearly, but can I see anybody else around as I kind of stop?
Give me a perception check. So your passive perception, no, but you do kind of give like a more. All right, so you end up with a 14 on your perception there. You quickly, you guys have been ambushed on these very roads. So Bruno, you quickly are like, wait, are there fucking wormlings? You know, so you're looking around for any of these sneaky little wormlings or snatching vines or magic mushrooms. And you look around and you don't see anything. Rial, your passive perception being so high, you look down to your left. You know, you're sitting on your horse. You kind of look down to the left, and you swear. I mean, it's just a blip of a moment. You swear for a second. You see this like blue and crystalline colored spider. Just you like look, and then it's gone, and it's not there. But you kind of notice that as you're sitting on the horse, you look up, you see the big looming figure. It has the sleeves of its long, green tunic kind of rolled up to the elbow, and you can see from where the big giant brown leather gloves are and the tunic that's rolled up. The skin of this giant creature is this like pale blue white. And as you go ahead, Bruno, give me an animal handling as you try to like kind of harness in the reins. You guys were going at full speed, so we're gonna see. You do it in a way that Divot, you don't have to worry about flying off the roof, or you proficiently manage to rein in the outside horses first, so that they bend in toward the inside, and you slow them down. Such a master, a cavalier, someone born to the saddle, as the skill that you have states. But yes, so proficient are you as both like a carriage driver and with handling the horses that run it, that you manage to stop without any ill effects toward anybody. The air kind of.
You can ride it, I can hide it.
You see the air kind of hangs heavy as this big, giant creature in the road. Anybody on the horses, so Tina and Rial, you kind of both look up and forward. You see, you're like, wait a minute. You look, and around his neck is a big, like, wicker chain, and right in the center of it is a crimson-colored scarab hanging around his neck. You see he's standing there, and it feels like the air in the forest has just gone stale around him. The breeze that you've now gotten used to over your days in Emerella, this constant soft kiss on your face, is gone. You feel the air around you is eerily still. You see he raises up his arm. You see the blue and white colored skin as the gloved hand reaches before his face, and he throws his hand out, and this giant field of overgrowth. You look down at the horse's feet and the carriage, and you see the swirling green magic as these vines start to wrap around the wheels and the base of the carriage. The horses start trotting their feet as these vines attempt to wrap and wind them up. You see, basically, those of you with any magic, he's casted a very large entangle on your horses and the carriage. But you guys sitting above those right now, nobody is affected because you're all off the ground. So you do see the entanglement raise up, and then you see you see his hand after he throws the energy away. He just stands back and crosses his arms. Giant, intimidating figure. This big green robe, 10 foot by 10 foot, giant, thick, person stands before you as this magical roots start wrapping over your carriage. What do you do?
Can I cast Sacred Flame on the entanglement that he's cast?
No. So unfortunately, you could try to light up some. It seems like if you burned it away, it would continue growing. Like it's an actual spell effect. So it doesn't have like an armor class or anything that the Sacred Flame could attack. It is grasping entangled natural roots. So if you wanted to try like actual fire or something, you could try that. But Sacred Flame is like a radiant energy source, so it's not actually fire.
Can you attack the vines with the bladed object?
Yeah, you could certainly try to do that. Yes.
Yeah, I could do that with my axe. Yeah, certainly.
So again, Rial, with your high perception, suddenly you notice Brian's tail starts kind of swinging. You look back at your shoulder, and it seems like he's got like an itch on his back that he can't scratch. He's kind of shifting around in the cart a little bit. You hear the grasping roots as they start grabbing the wheels and the base of your carriage. You hear a couple wood splits. Your old carriage not really holding up too well to this incursion. Go ahead and make me an actual perception check, Rial.
Cool. You got it. This guy.
Your passive is so good that I'll give you the real thing.
Sweet. Thank you. Would I know what that white blue skin's all about?
Yeah, I was gonna ask the same thing. Like, what?
Yeah. Anybody?
any of
Yes.
us
I'm
know?
sorry. That's a bad on me. Anybody that wants to make a nature check can, and you might know of a large giant creature with blue-white skin that wears robes. Rial, 16 perception. So you look back and you see Esmerelda. She just she's riding inside the carriage. She just opens the door and then steps about 10 feet away and then just turns back and looks at the carriage and is just looking at everything. Again, unremarkable face. You see she's holding the stuffed animal at the side of her arms, but she like got out of the carriage. She was like, nope, and just walked out, got 10 feet away, turned around and is just looking at this growing stuff around you. You see Brian still kind of twitching and moving around as if something is bothering him.
I'm gonna run a nature real fast too. My bad, guys.
That's okay.
All right,
I feel like there's a lot of noise going on. At some point, I'd like to.
So the 5, last week you couldn't beat a 10 DC. This week 15 is your nemesis that you just can't reach. Bruno, you were the closest. Having blue skin of your own, you're like, wait a minute, is that like another sea elf, man? And you're like, no, it's not a sea elf, man. And so yeah, unfortunately, Divot rolling a natural 1, Thoricus getting a 10, Rial getting an 11. With your guys' nature checks, nobody seems too keen on what this large creature person thing is before you. You hear the roots continuing. Go ahead.
I know that it's not a sea elf.
There's a big blue meanie.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take a swing at it with the roots growing on the carriage with my hand axe.
Well,
Okay,
no, I meant,
sweet.
Did Tina get a chance to perceive or what nature roll for that?
Well, I have -1 nature, so I didn't.
Well, I
Hey,
had a
you could
plus
crit. You could
0,
roll high. You just
so-
need to beat a 15.
Let's try.
May the odds be forever in your favor. Nope,
You guys-
a 7. I just wanted to see you all fail. All right, so you're all looking and you're like, red scarab? Yeah, crimson scarab. And once again, even that's not what you guys were talking about. You're all
Right.
convinced that you know
Yeah.
that it's a crimson scarab.
Yeah. Well,
All right,
okay,
so
can I address this guy? Can I be like, what the fuck?
Yes.
thought
Let me
Tim was gonna
move you guys
check
kind of
now.
in here. I'm gonna set you in front of the cart just because the cart is annoying.
Do we know that he's associated with the druids because of the scarab? We all heard Sumner talk about it.
Well, that makes us think that.
You certainly are, based on the I knew this was gonna happen. Based on the information that you have, here. I'm gonna move this to the map.
Quit moving the spell, Brandon.
Map
Fuck.
layer. There we go. That's what we're doing. Map layer. Now they're all in there, and now I can click all over them. All right, so the layer tool is your friend. Roll 20, not a sponsor. All right, so yeah, but yes, Tina, you're correct. I mean, the running assumption so far, you've known of 2 great druids, Illifarn, who was buried in Esmeralda, Emerella,
Emerella.
and you know of the great druid Achias, who also wore one of these. So yes, it would stand to within reason for you to make the assumption that this man is somehow linked with the great druids. You see, he's just standing there, arms crossed, like the just watching. You don't see his eyes. Again, his cloak hangs really low down on his face. You can barely make out like a blue jawline with like heavy, thick lips and teeth. And but you just see his big, massive arms crossed in front of him, and he's just seemingly watching you guys as these roots begin growing around you. Here we
What do
go.
you know of this child?
The child is no concern of mine. I fear for the 5. Here too early. Far too early.
What does that mean?
What do you mean?
You hear the roots continuing to grow.
Hey, cut that shit out. I'm talking to you.
Yeah, time is a construct.
Damn.
I tell you now, 5. Turn back. You do not belong in the sanctuary of Trucilia.
You hear the roots continuing to grow.
Hey, bro, I told you to cut that shit out. Let's
Arms.
just have a conversation. We're not trying to do this.
Who is Trucilia? We're here to return the child to the Dryad Colt. The Dryad Colt. Why are we any of your business right now?
Thank you, best friend.
It is not the Dryads that concern me.
Oh my god, what the fuck concerns you? Can you just get to it?
Be specific?
It is the path in which you follow. It is what lays beyond. You are here far too early. Go back from whence you came.
And do what? And do what?
What are we here too early for?
Your understanding is not my problem.
Well,
Go
you're-
back!
You see he raises his hand.
Well, I get back on the horse, and
Good.
and then I start to think about breakfast.
Hell yeah, breakfast.
And then I turn to Rial, and Rial, what do you know about dragons?
Oh, plenty. Why do you ask?
Let me tell you.
I think it's worthwhile to seek out the dragon's lair.
Dragon's lair, you say? Where to then?
You hear Brian shifting in the carriage.
I go run and check that out. Maybe help him out.
All right, Bruno, you run around the side of the the carriage here. Your feet, as they touch the ground, you see the vines try to reach up and grab them. Worried for your friend and companion, you manage to pull your feet away before they snatch onto you, and you run around to the other side. You see the wheels of the carriage at this point have basically been completely entangled by these growing strange roots. But you see Brian, as his face looks up at you, he's clearly in distress, and he's shaking as if there's something on his back. And in that moment, you see this blue and white spider flash into existence in front of you. Its fangs bared. It takes a bite of Brian, the crocodile.
Oh, fuck this guy.
What the actual fuck is
All right, so at the same moment, guys, Thoricus, to your left, as you're sitting shotgun, you see materialize on the side of the road another one of these blue and white spiders. And Tina, right directly in front of your horse, one of these blue and white spiders appears.
Oh my god.
You look at the guy with his hand up like this, and he crosses his arms and then raises them. And he turns into a great giant eagle. You see, he just flies away. And we're in initiative. So these phase spiders that have been summoned along with this weird, entangling roots, they're going to act first in initiative because none of you saw them. They're also going to all attack with initiative because they attacked from being invisible. So it's a feature of this particular beast. But the first bite, as a bonus action, it ethereally jaunts back into the material plane. And it is going to bite with advantage on Brian.
Oh no.
Ooh, he rolled a 1, and then he rolled a 3. So yeah, unfortunately, even with advantage, his bite, Brunor, the protector instinct within you, the blade of Angerel, ready at a moment's notice to protect, as is your calling, even this, your dear friend. You see the blade of Angerel, blade of the Keeper, calls itself from your side as you reach forward. You slide the blade in between the back scales of Brian, and the teeth bite down on your sword. The other two go. Thoricus, the one on you, biting from he just climbs up the side of the cart. He's got spiders, so he can just walk up the side of things. He climbs up the side of it, and man, he sucks too. 16 AC. No, not good enough for old Thoricus Onyx Heart.
16?
Yeah.
Yes, I am a 16.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Got him. All right. What? All right, so you make make a DC 11 Constitution saving throw. Oh, it's going to be helpful that a lot of you are resistant to poison.
Hey.
But yeah, so make a Constitution saving throw, and you got to beat an 11. You did. You got a 13. Yes, that's the. So you rolled a 10. You have a +3. So you get a 13. So you pass. You take half as much of that. So which is going to be, you're going to take 9. And you take even half of that because you're resistant to poison. So you actually take 4. You take 4. I'm sorry, round down. So yeah, you take 4 damage. Plus the 8 piercing. I'm sorry. So 4 poison and 8 piercing. 12 total. As the spider phases into reality in front of you and instantly appears out of nowhere as this phase spider bites into you. The one in front of you, Tina, same thing. You see its legs are long enough that it just wraps up the side of the horse and climbs up. 23 AC, that's going to be a hit. Tina, go ahead and give me an 11 Constitution saving throw as well.
Alrighty.
Poison is dope. Ooh, failing with a 4. So Tina, as you see as it bites, this ice blue liquid is shot into your veins as it kind of spills outside the wound from the bite. Now you do have resistance to poison as well from the armor that Thoric has made for you. So you'll end up taking half of this, which will be 8 poison plus 4 piercing. You take 12 damage total as well.
I know I already took the damage, but I know that I also have the parry maneuver when they hit me.
Oh yeah,
as a bonus action.
Rocket. I think it's a reaction.
Or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's a reaction because it happens based off of the triggering attack hitting you. But yeah, you can do the. Is it the riposte?
No, it's parry.
Oh, parry.
I'm actually
Oh, yeah.
right on this one. It's usually
It's been a while since you guys got a good fight in. So yeah, we have a bunch of new abilities too. So another creature
You
attacks you.
parry.
Yeah, your reaction, absolutely. Use one of your superiority die to reduce the damage by the amount rolled on the superiority die plus your dex mod. So what's your superiority dice?
It's a D4.
Is it? I think it's higher than that.
No.
D4?
Pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
Let me scroll back up.
I'm sorry, it's been a while for me since I've played a Battle Master. I apologize.
Oh, wait.
I thought it was a
no.
D8 too.
Shit, I don't know. It just says I have 4 maneuver dice. That's probably where I thought it was a D4.
All right, I'm just gonna hop into you real quick.
Sorry. Ooh, hi.
Pardon me if you just like Gus did when he stepped into my chair earlier. D8s. All right, yeah, your combat superiority dice. Exactly, yeah, and it'll get stronger as you get up. You have
Here,
4 D8s.
I just hit combat superiority in the thing.
There you go. Perfect. So there it is. So it's a D8. So roll a D8.
Okay.
Add your Dex modifier, and that's how much less damage you take from that. Nice. And what's your Dex?
2?
2. All right, so 7 less. Nice. You took what? 12, so it's 5. Yeah,
Wait,
Thorkus,
so it's-
again, riding shotgun, ready for the battle to happen, and almost real excited to try out your new toy. You give a little bit of a laugh and a wince as this spider bites at you, and you look at this beast with a little bit of pride, knowing that it likely will be the first of many deaths at the hands of this new weapon of yours. To end that, the spiders will go ahead and give their initiative to the druid, who you see fly even farther away. You see the bird heading back down the road, and then as you can see over the treetops, he kind of turns and starts flying toward the top of the mountains. So you see him just fly away and leaving you with this mess to deal with.
Why?
Is he within shouting distance?
What's that?
Is he within shouting distance to taunt?
Yeah, you can always. I'll always let you taunt. And yeah, I'll give you a taunt check, and we'll see if he hears it.
Faith loves sass.
Yeah.
I was hoping it would be more of like an intimidation thing.
Okay. Yeah, I love it.
Wills.
Give me an intimidation.
You're not just joshing him.
No,
joshing.
not joshing.
There's no joshing
I
happening.
legitimately fucking challenge this motherfucker.
We ain't joshing no more. We're jaking this. We're jaking it. We're all jaking it.
We don't just want to let him leave.
Well, by roll, we have no choice.
All right, so with your 9 on your intimidation, the best that you can muster is a Lion King. You're like, and if you ever come back, we'll kill you! And then even your voice gets really high at the end. We'll kill you! And just that part, just the annoying high-pitched part, echoes. You hear it's like, hell yeah!
Evidently, intimidation is not based off of strength. I swore that it was.
You know, I'm not going to lie to you. There is a huge online community of people that will argue that, of course, you should be able to use strength as intimidation. I, in this current moment, am not inclined to give it to you. If he was looking at you, and you wanted to, like, bend metal at him, I'd probably give it to you.
Right. I just wanted to be like, hey, bitch feathers, get back here.
So, yeah. But with the
talking.
9... It just doesn't seem that it has any effect on him. You see as his tail feathers continue on.
But I thought it was based off of strength, so
Yeah.
now it makes sense that I failed the fuck out of that.
You turn around and let everybody know. You're like, I'm sorry.
Guys, I have no charisma.
I thought me being strong would have helped that somehow. You just start doing some military process.
Chin-ups.
Yeah. You guys do anything? Everybody cool? All right, so yeah, you guys are still dealing with the spider. I'm gonna do this the only way that I consider it fair. I'm gonna roll for it from left to right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Bruno, you're up.
Great. You already can probably guess what I'm about to do. I am about to.
Are we supposed to roll initiative?
What?
Were we supposed to roll initiative?
Nope, we're popcorning it. It's Bruno's turn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Pop. Pop that popcorn, baby.
Pop, pop.
Have a back toe. Ow, ow. I'm singing intro, and I'm gonna slash this. That was cute. I'm gonna slash this.
Bless you.
Sorry.
Gesundheit.
Gesundheit.
I'm gonna go wing, wing, wow. Woo.
Nice, 21 AC, more than does the trick. 8 damage, pretty good. You do see this thing has a little bit more fortitude than that. It's not bleeding yet. But yeah, you certainly land true. You take the blade that's kind of under its mouth, turn it sideways, and then draw it back. And you slice its lips. You see it kind of has a little bit of blue and white liquid drips out of its mouth. And you set back. You have your second attack still as well.
I do, and I'm gonna mark it.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Mark it.
So now you're like, you cannot attack Bruno, you're fighting me. If it attacks anybody else, it gets disadvantaged while it's within 5 feet of you.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Put it in the oven for Brian.
Lay off of Brian. Yeah, don't touch my Brian. You see, with a second slash, after pulling the blade back and slicing, again, the Angel moves just swiftly in your hand, and you kind of set your shield ready to protect. That's kind of how you what your mark does. It allows you to block an ally, like give them advantage. You set your shield for the strike, and then like a serpent, you just kind of stab in like a scorpion tail, and you strike the tip of the spider for 8 damage. That actually is enough to make it bleed. So yeah, you see it is bleeding.
Bleeding blue blood.
Bleeding blue blood.
Bleeding my blood.
Bleeding blue blood. Bleeding blue blood.
Take that, speed drag.
The blue bug black blood.
Blue bug, black
Blue
blood.
bug.
What we did.
All right.
Jenna smooth that.
That's smooth.
All right, Brunor, that's what else you got?
Yeah, you go for my thing. I go for you. You go for my Brian. I go for you. You go for my bra. I go for you. I want to push myself beyond my limits.
Ooh! She's turning it up with the action surge. You see Brenna go Super Saiyan. That's actually good enough. They don't have great AC. 10 damage. It's not dead yet though, but it's certainly in real bad shape. You see as you kind of start screaming like, again, that protector instinct, your best friend Brian finally with you at last, and the first thing that happens is something tries to attack it. This protector instinct, the fury of all the angst and the obsession with these dragons and your journey, you just let the rage kind of take over for a moment, and you, instead of, pristine sharp strikes, you almost just start hacking into the spider as you split the top of its head open with a nice 10 damage. Oh! Crit! Oh, girl. Let's crit hit, everybody. Crit hit. We like to take a hit when we crit. Oh, with the action surge, with the crit, with 19 damage, far more than enough. Brunor, the serpent slayer, 2 strikes in, 2 to go. What do you do to this spider?
So you guys know I action surged and I had my Super Saiyan moment. I said, "Don't touch my crocodile!" And then I hit him once, and that was just a little guy, but I was just gearing up to do like a hand, and I kind of put in the foot to take out from the 10 slashing damage. And I put the foot, and I get that leverage, and I just swung back with Angelo, like, as hard as I possibly can, and I slice this thing, like, I slice off its little pincer things, and just even the front of its face. I just want to get, like, its whole, like, whoop, and so, like, the face just kind of goes and slides off, and then you just see, like, the like, exoskeleton and, like, gushing blood, and it's just like, what, maybe there was like nerve endings to his eyeballs and stuff there that like
there definitely
behind
was,
it,
yes.
You just kind of see this like what, like a bodies exhibit, but for a big piece of shit spider trying to go after my crocodile.
Damn, homie.
Each slash cutting its way through. In the last few swings, finally, Brunor, you stop and you see as the last 3 swings that you made continue behind you, like you're a step ahead even of the time of the blade itself. And as these 3 final slashes cut through the spider, certain pieces of it phase back to the other plane. And you see this like a bodies exhibit, like this, the complete inside panel of the side of one of these phase spiders. They seem to have 2 hearts instead of just one. They have these strange planar outsider properties that don't quite make sense to any other thing you've seen in the natural world. But yes, as filleted out through the magical blade of Angerel, you see each of these sections in tune, and as Brunor stands silently in front of them, they begin to drop to the ground. Whew! Ooh, girl, get him! Get him! All right, so Brunor, that's your bonus action. Unless you want to move or anything, that would be your turn. Who's up? Popcorn.
My only move would just be to check on my boy, but I'm gonna send this next over to. I can kind of hear people behind me, so I'm gonna say, probably thinking, who did I see get down? I'm gonna say Tina.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tina Smoothhands, you look down at this, beast that dared bite at you. Again, as you look at it, it's kind of weird. It's like its skin's made a little bit out of crystal, and it's just like, you can't place this. This is not of the natural realm.
Yeah, this is like nothing I've ever seen before.
Yes.
And I'm taken aback for a second. That first swipe shook me a little bit, but now I want to roast this spider in front of me. So I want to go ahead and cast Sacred Flame.
Give me that Sacred Flame.
Boom.
It gets to make a dex save. It actually has pretty decent dex.
I thought you were gonna be like this 8-legged dumb.
This dummy face.
All right, so it gets to make a dexterity save. Getting a 16, it passes, so I don't think it actually takes anything, right? Does it take half? No, I don't think it takes anything. So yes, you see as you bear down, again, attacking the way you would attack a creature from this plane, a simple spider of the woods. Even giant spiders are spiders nevertheless. You shoot down, and as this holy beam of energy, the wave, the energy of Shantia flows forth from your hand in this smiting flame, it just kind of phases as the magic passes right through it, and then it phases back. So it did pass its dexterity save.
Okay, well that blows. I think I'm gonna take this opportunity to swing my axe, since maybe I'm feeling a little anxious. Maybe
you actually your Sacred Flame is your action, so all you've got left is a bonus and a move. Right
oh, you're right.
Sorry.
You're right.
Yeah, a cantrip is still a spell. That might be what's a little confusing about that.
Yeah.
You mean your sight? For your
No, I didn't. I meant my actual axe.
Oh.
I just was confused about
Yeah. Yeah, you would need a full action for that.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah, I think I'm good. That's all I want to do.
All right, who you pass it to?
Sorry. I'm gonna pass it to Rial.
I got you, boo.
Yeah.
Rial, you're still sitting, next on your horse still. I'm sorry, I know the tokens look a little off, but you're still sitting on your horse. You see Tina battling the spider that's kind of climbed up the horse and is having its way trying to bite at her and succeeding once. What do you do?
So that just pisses me right off. That's no good. I want to ask if I can use my move and my attack at the same time. My idea is I want to, bear with me, I want to flip off the horse, take out Scimitar the rapier, and try and stab the spider, but then land diagonally, so I'm still flanking him and in the threat range. Can we do it?
Simpson.
All right, I'm going to need an acrobatics check from you on this. I will allow that movement. You're still moving within its threat range. You're not doing anything, but you want to make it look cool, and we'll see how cool it looks. Give me an acrobatics check to see if you pull this off. You're not breaking any of the functionalities. You're just moving within its threat range, so yes.
You're so squirrely.
I want to smack it so bad.
Here we go. 19, absolutely more than enough. You kind of do like a back handspring off the horse, and you use Rapier the Scimitar to stick, in the ground as you kind of do a handstand over it, whoop, and land on the other side. So go ahead and give me your strike there. And you would have advantage, so you also get your sneak attack. 18 AC is more than enough. Hitting for 7, but you also get your sneak attack.
Please roll a 1. Please roll a 1 so you can re-roll that 1.
I think it's 3d6.
Dope ass.
You're right. Am I a
shit
3d6 or a 4d6?
I think you're 3d6.
Okay. Let's
Yeah.
see what we got here.
I might be wrong. Isaac's thinking about it.
So good.
Ooh.
Nice. 12 more damage. So a total of 19 damage. Very nice. It is bleeding, Rial, from the, where you stick it through, there's kind of like these little crystalline, spindly white hairs that rack up. Yeah, it is 3d6. You were right. These spindly little white, they almost look crystalline spindles up the back. You kind of plant your blade right in the meat of its back, and you feel as your blade goes through something not quite just flesh, and like you've stuck a blade into many times before, that it hits these strange pockets of hard material. And again, it's just like the anatomy of this thing is beyond the realm of men, and there's something strange about, even you can feel it in your hand as you kind of flip spin over it, blasting it for 19 damage.
You don't fuck with Tina Smooth Hands.
Yeah. Heal yeah.
But yes, it is bleeding, so it's in pretty bad shape.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hey, guys, can I get a...
Hell yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Oh, dear. I'm doing that too much.
Oh, we got it.
Oh
Oh yeah, hydration check.
Hydration check. Don't forget to lubricate.
Yeah.
Hey, Big Water, we're coming for you.
We're ready.
Oh, yeah.
Big
We're right there. We're right there.
And your water break brought to you by Fill In Your Water Company here.
Start sending those paychecks.
All right, so what's up, Rial? What else you got?
I have good faith Tina's gonna fuck this little bitch up. I don't really want to go anywhere. I don't want to do anything except pass it to Divot.
All right, Divot. You're still standing on top of the carriage, so you're well above the entangling roots at the base of this vehicle. But yeah, here I can actually move you over there. I put everything on the map layer like a good DM. So yeah, you're standing on top. In fact, I can bring all of you where you actually are. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I was like.
No, I know you were
confused.
you were looking down. You felt you didn't like it.
I was using the theater of the mind.
The theater of the back
Of
of your
the
mind.
back of my mind.
I haven't
The
said
mind
back of
theater.
your mind in a while.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, that's
We
crazy.
were in the back of the theater
Have not.
of your mind.
All right, so yeah, that's this Divot. You're up. You see your sister doing a little battle here with this strange blue crystalline, half flesh, half rock, blue and white spider. What do you want to do?
Okay, so I was laying on top of the roof, and I want to kind of just like sit up, kind of like the Undertaker, and look at the spiders that are there, and I'm like, and I cast Eldritch Blast.
Ooh, welcome to every warlock's favorite spell, and it's just the best damaged cantrip in the game. Divot, this is the first time seeing your Eldritch Blast. What does it look like?
Like.
Yeah.
What did it look like?
So I want it to look like dark purple lightning shooting out of my hand. Like,
Nice, very Emperor Palpatine, but with like a little more purple hue.
yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, you see the skeleton arm of Divot, standing up. Just kind of, you can even everybody that kind of like sees it. He's just kind of put off by this whole moment. You see him reach up and summon this purple energy that you guys have never seen before, except for it kind of resembles that thing in the painting that you saw arcing across the back of the sky, the eldritch magic that shot across the back of the painting. And so this purple crackling energy starts wrapping around the skeleton arm, you know, from the elbow to the hand on Divot's right arm. And this energy builds up. Which one are you shooting at? The one on Tina?
Yeah.
You turn around and blast. So it's actually, let's see here. You get more beams. So each of these is an attack, right? That's how we said we were going to do it.
These beams?
Oh,
Yeah.
these beams.
So the two attacks, the 20 AC and the 18 AC, they both hit. You do a D10. That's 7 plus 1. That's 8 damage to this creature. It's still alive. Let's see, 2 beams. Yeah, 2 beams at 5th level. When you get to 11th level, you'll have 3 beams.
All right,
But,
so I do get a second one though.
That is, the way I did it is, you know how usually it attacks with advantage? I just used that advantage as the other roll. So the 20 AC and the 18 AC, that's the 2 beams. 1 beam hit for 7, the other one hit for 1.
Oh, okay.
And it's still there. You see the crackling energy, and the spider recoils, and kind of like leans back, and as its body is racked by this energy, and you feel a little bit of its delicious life force kind of drain back to you as the energy returns to your skeleton arm. You're like, ooh, that felt pretty good. It's almost like you took a hit of a new drug. You know, you're just like, ooh, all right, that's, ooh, this warlock thing is pretty crazy.
Getting high on life.
Literally.
Warlocks high on life. We're patenting that. So that's your cantrip, Divot. You still have a bonus action and a move, if you want to use either of those.
And the thing I was thinking about doing, I don't think will work because they're not humanoid. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pass it on.
All right, cool. So I'm sorry, I forgot to be putting dots on everybody. Brunor went, Rial went, Tina went. You have now gone. I think Thoricus is the only one that hasn't gone.
Oh, me?
Ooh, bat and cleanup, if you know what I mean.
Me? Little old me.
All right, so yeah, that's you, Thoricus. You're up.
Okay.
Ooh. Hold up. You know I gotta hit you with your theme song.
Ooh, get him.
Get it.
Ooh.
How funky is your chicken?
You feel
And
the
how
surge, you know,
is
in
your
your hand of the 2 distinct magical axes that you managed to wield through this new fighting style that you're testing out. Then you just kind of look around at your allies stepping up and showing off these amazing feats of strength and battle prowess. You feel, you know, as the moment shifts to you, you look around and you're ready to test this bad boy out. So, what do you do, Thoricus Onyxheart?
Can I keep the axes separate? Like, as they're mounted on my back? And like, as this fucking spectral speed ray is attacking me, you're welcome.
That depends. Is it dope enough? Because I think it is. Yeah, it doesn't bother me. As long as, you know, leave it within reason. If it's a flavor thing, I never mind. That's cool. Like, you can be like,
I'm just saying, like,
and they attach to each other. Feel free.
I don't always want to have them, like,
Connected.
together.
Correct.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
just want to be able to dopify this shit. So yeah, as a speed ray,
Speed.
attacks me,
As a spider.
and I take half of half or whatever the fuck damage I took because of whatever. I just want to like smirk at it and be like, oh, you're about to have a real bad day.
So you are within reach of both. The one that's in real bad shape in front of Tina and the one that's attacking you, just so you know.
Right, but I just want to like reach back and grab them both and be like, clasp them together, lock it in and be like, let's fucking try this shit out. Because this feels real good.
You're standing on the back of this horse, you know, and you kind of start spinning the weapon around. and building up the momentum, trying out this new fighting style. Even all of you guys in the heat of this battle are kind of like, whoa.
Hell yeah.
You see the two blades of the twin axes, Lucille the Fury and the Blightbringer. They start spinning around. Thorgus, attack.
Ulrika's attack. Well, see, the thing is, I don't know if you actually added it to my sheet because I told you I didn't know how to do that. Do you just want me to attack twice with Lucille the Flurry and?
Oh yeah,
Flurry?
yeah. No, they're both +1 axes. The only difference is Lucille the Fury has that once a day rage ability. So
Okay.
it's the same. You can just click that twice. We'll add another tooltip for it. But yeah, they both are
thought
+1.
that, like one was more like light-sided and the other one was more dark, and if it hit the light side hit the dark, it would do more damage and vice versa. And sorry,
Yeah.
so I'm just gonna hit it twice.
Ooh, nice. Both hits.
Wow.
Big damage. Let's see. Did you roll any 1s or 2s? No. All right, cool. So do 26 damage. Ooh. And that's you attack the one in front of you.
Alright.
Yeah, the one to the left of my token.
Nice. All right, so it is still alive, but you start spinning around. You see it raises 1 foot to like go to shield itself from the swing, and you manage to change your momentum and swing from the bottom end of the double-bladed weapon instead. Less of like a spinning top and more like a gear that's shifting around tactically to the perfect point in the flow of battle with this weapon. You see you kind of hook one blade of the axe into its side, switch positions with the hand, change fighting style, drag it across its chest. You know, you're still like working this thing out, but man, it's feeling so good. 26 damage, a lot of damage, man. Just like rending through this, the arms and the little, breaking off these little crystalline whiskers on these spider backs.
Just shaving this fucking speed ray up.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
He's like almost ready to go out. Like you got him looking real good,
Right.
even on both
Giving
sides.
a badass fade on the side.
Yeah. You're like, look at your friend, and you can see his insides.
Look at your friend.
Look,
Look
just,
at your friend.
it's terrible.
Yeah. Wait, don't I get with that? I believe it was pole arm master something. Don't I get like a?
So your dual bladed
Bonus.
master, yes, your new thing. You can burn a bonus action to get 1 more attack with your dual bladed weapon. It doesn't have the benefit that the polearm master feat has, where you can get an AOO reaction for the range of your weapon, but it does allow you to take a full powered 3rd attack for the bonus action. Rules explained right now. We're testing this feat.
losing
I'm
their
more
shit.
than willing to hear input. I'll type it out and put it up in the hub, and we can talk about it a little bit. I tried to balance it based off the polearm mastery feat, and I feel, although now that I'm looking at it, it's like, 15 more damage. We might end up tweaking that a little bit. That's actually my fault too. It's still D12s. Don't worry about it. We'll fix it for the next one. You did. let's
Shit!
see,
Yeah, no,
9.
you're right.
Yeah, it would be D10s, not D12s.
I'm
No,
totally
that's
fine
my
with
fault. I told you
going-
I was going to update it, and just like my tokens, look, I'm dropping the ball. Just
Yeah,
blame,
but Kumal not
blame
being
it
updated is
on
fucking
me.
funny.
I'm gonna take a
Yeah,
hit
that was a
about
choice.
it.
Also, fuck Kumal.
Yo,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
fuck Kumal,
Lazy
right?
piece of shit.
Right? All right, but yeah, 21 AC.
What a
I mean, dude,
dick.
you're just cleaving this thing up. 15 damage. Thoricus, what do you do? What is the first death at the hands of this new weapon look like?
What it looked like though?
Yeah, but yeah, what it like though?
No, I really, dude, I love it when you fucking describe anything, even if it's close to what I'm thinking or they're thinking. Like, it's just fun to hear your perspective on it. I just have to say that.
Well, you guys
Because-
set me up all the time. It's amazing. Thank you.
Just keep knocking them out of the park. But yeah, no, I like the idea of what you were saying. Like, I swing this way and I see what works, and I'm like, I'm actually getting more attacks in than actual fucking attacks. But
Right.
the ones that connect,
Yes.
I've planned for and seen how this fucking creature moves and whatnot. And so yeah, I might take a swing and miss and like come around with it again, and then whirl it up to fake it out, and then it gets down. I'm like, oh, you fucked up, and just like shave off from the knees
Big
down
smile.
and, like, shave off this side and then this side and then be like, you ready for it? And then fucking turn, split, and fucking cross slash that bitch. And then put him back.
Just
Damn.
pre-roast them.
Yes, Thoricus, as you fight this beast, spinning around, feeling the gears, feeling the shift of this battle, each time the beast raises an arm, you kind of laugh to yourself, pivot the other way, and chop one of its supporting legs off. And literally, as you kind of like weave your way around this thing, almost like a spider spinning a web, so too are you removing the individual legs of this beast. And finally, as you draw the two-sided axe up to strike, there's literally just a spider body with no legs. They all lay on the ground. These little crystalline blue and white legs bleeding this blue liquid on the ground. But there's just the torso and head of
And the
this
8
phase
eyes.
spider in front of you. You hear the unlocking mechanism that designed by you and Tanara, and you swing the blades through, severing it completely in half. You see the blue, poison blood kind of sprays out in an arc of blood as you pull the axes through. And quickly turn your attention to the one remaining spider in front of Tina. I believe. Yeah.
I would like to, hold on. Run over here. Can I do that?
Yeah, because you are already in its threat range. You never actually left its threat range, so you can absolutely do that. If you are going to be on the ground instead of on like the horse, you might have to make a dexterity save against the entangling roots.
Well, I want to.
Oh wait, I think you're just outside of it. No, where you are, you're outside of it. That's the ground. Sorry, I have it selected now. You're good.
I want to leave its threat range so it attacks me.
Oh, then you would step one more square out of
That way?
Yeah.
Got him.
Got him. Yeah, it's a creature. It's gonna use, of course, it's gonna use its reaction. It sees you moving past after just filleting another phase spider. You don't really know about if phase spiders feel, guilt or remorse or whatever, but you do sense
But I know
fear.
that's
A thing you know very
all
well.
of that.
And this phase spider is gonna take a bite at you. Ooh, 21 AC!
No. Damn it. It does hit me.
Here we.
that's
Oh,
so many
nice
dice.
big damage! Holy
Oh my
crap!
In the Lord.
Oh, it's not the crit, so don't worry about the other pluses there. So it's gonna be 12 damage plus the 19 poison. So make a DC 11 Constitution saving throw. You see it. You pretty much almost like lean it out to let it try to bite at you as you kind of drag your foot, and it's a little faster than you think. You see it phases, and suddenly it bites at your leg. You make the Constitution saving throw. You feel the blue poison pumping through your veins. Only getting a 7, you fail. You still are poison resistant, so you take half the 19. That's 9 plus 12. You take 21. That's a big bite. You're Mr. Hit Points, so you're like chump. But you did get him to bite just as you had wanted him to. I imagine you had a secondary action, something you were going to do, or no?
Oh, well, I just didn't want it to be able to hurt anyone else
Nice.
with any extra shit.
So yeah, you draw its ire, you make it focus on you, and backing out of its range. It's kind of like looking at you. It's now burned its reaction, so it's not going to be biting at anybody else if people want to reposition. Again, tactically minded, makes sense to me.
How many hit points did I take?
Dude, 21.
Fuck!
Yeah.
And that's after the half.
Wait, can I parry again? Or no? Did I fuck that up?
Have you already used your reaction? Yeah,
This
you used it
round?
to parry. Yeah, you've already used your reaction, so you don't have another one. Just like you just did to him to bite his reaction to attack of opportunity, you two have already
Didn't
used
I
yours.
parry when it attacked me, though, and then it was my turn afterwards?
Oh, and then it resets on his turn. Oh, on their action. Okay, yeah.
Oh, on theirs. Fuck.
It makes sense, because it has to be prompted by somebody else, so.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Let me do math.
Boogers.
Oh, God.
but,
36. I've not been that low in a while.
man,
Jesus.
what's up, phase spiders, right?
Fucking face spiders,
Fucking
y'all.
phase spiders, man. All right, You're out of the entanglement. That's fine. Pretty much everybody's on the outside of it right now. So yeah, Thoricus, you're the last in initiative. Again, when there's only one enemy type, popcorn can be pretty punishing. Who is up next? It just can't be yourself.
Esmeralda.
All right, you see Esmerelda. You're like, it's your turn.
Really?
For 6 seconds, she stands there
Nothing?
completely unremarkably,
You can't even,
and
like,
her
walk
turn
up
is
towards them
over.
and creep them the fuck out?
She passes her initiative to her protector, Brunor.
What up? Cool. So I'm gonna come get this speed ray. I'm gonna slice at him with my sword. With my sword.
All right, you see Angerel, elven blade of the keeper with the green magical runes down its side, again, kind of pulling itself to your course. As you walk around pretty unaffected by this moment, you've slain dragons, you're not afraid of no spider. Do you want to walk through the entanglement, or do you want to try to kind of avoid it?
I wanna try to kind of avoid it.
Okay, because you can 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. You can get right next to Rial without ever even entering it. It's more around the feet of the horses. So yeah, you would end up landing right. Yeah. Your first strike, 10, not good enough. You kind of, as you step close, you see one root, jumps up and snatches at your foot, and you kind of, like taking a fadeaway jump shot, you kind of swing as you fall back, but you let that momentum steady you, and you set your front foot back down to come through with a second attack. With a 20 AC, more than enough. 7 damage. It is at 5. Brunor, the spider slayer. What do you do?
So yeah, so I do exactly what you were saying. I kind of like do the first one. I go, oh shh, no, trying not to get hit by anything, and then I come back around and hit it again. But this time, just like kind of how I yelled before about my crocodile, I go, don't touch my friends, and then I do another one. Yeah.
Just like stomp over to it.
Mad.
Fall back a little bit. Yeah, you let the second swing come through. You feel again the magical elven blade just dancing around in the air before you, picking where to move just as you do, and forcing itself through the body of this strange, otherworldly creature. You once more slash it, and you see as it like attempts to bite out at your wrist as the blade comes through, and you just reposition at the last moment, bring the blade up, and just cut the front end of its face off. You see the furry white, hairy lips fall off, and it just reveals this strange exoskeleton on the inside, and this strange gooey white brain that just kind of like drips out of the front of the wound. And you're just kind of sitting there as the rest of the body falls off of the horse. You see the horse very happy to not have this thing on it anymore, like kind of like still prancing its feet around. And
When the face falls off, I want to make sure I don't forget this because I'm high. When the face falls off, and I'm standing there like with the blade, and everything falls off, I go, face off. Oh.
You motherfucker, I love you. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. I love it. All right, so yeah, you see as this face comes off, Bruno remarks, face off, as the face falls off. You see all this spider again. Some of its pieces phase away. So you see there's just kind of like surrounding you, there's these strange magical roots that are still kind of like writhing like snakes around the feet of your carriage. You see these vines moving around. Tina, having recently had some magical vines crawling up your arm, you're like, oh yeah, those look like some magical vines. Yeah. And so they're, kind of grinding up around the carriage. And suddenly the green magic that's kind of floating around in a cloud. You see all the vines start pulling back, and they kind of dissolve into this big puff of green smoke that's floating around the carriage. The vines from the horse the vines surrounding the horse dissolve into this green mist that passes over each of you in between the cart and this space in the middle. You see this green wave of magical energy with swarming in the air. And suddenly, as all the air starts drawing in, you see the roots start shooting up from the ground, and this green mist and the roots of the ground and the rocks and the stone that make up the roads of the path through the Malachite Mountains start forming into this giant creature, matching the size almost entirely of the robed figure. You see this big giant creature made of earth magic. You know, if you see the token here, you see it's this big creature, half rock, half grass, with trees and roots growing out of it. It's a pure construct of nature. You see the smoke kind of grow around it, and it builds up as this beast grows and grows inside, finally settling at 10 feet tall. As these roots kind of whiptail off like snakes and serpents' tongues. You see standing before you is a big giant earth elemental. It raises up a big fist, strikes the ground, and you see this big boulder fly in the air. It catches it. And that's where we're gonna pick it up next week.
Oh!
Whoo! See, it was like I was throwing the end of the sesh at you. I was like,
I was about to say some shit pivot and be like,
Yeah, I had all the stuff I was gonna do.
fucked it all up.
Wow.
let's shout out to the Roll20 marketplace. Old Bam bought himself some of these spell effects, and I really like this green gaseous one that you can see on the map.
Dude, it's so good.
Super cool. You'll be seeing, maybe you'll be seeing some more of that. But yes, no, thank you guys so much. Awesome sesh. Here's the thing. We could play for 4 more hours. We could. I've seen us do it. But it's good to keep the excitement up. But most importantly, my main squeeze is sitting in that room right over there, and I haven't seen him in quite a while, other than through this magical internet connection that we have. So I am gonna go spend some time with one of my best buds, the man, the myth, the legend, Gus 2 Blunts Langley. I want to thank everybody, all the buds, for being here, everybody for hanging out and just getting down, being so fucking awesome, and Chad at the Weed&d Hub, all you guys. It's just amazing. We absolutely love you guys. Gus, why don't you come take us out? We'll do an in studio lighters up here. Like I said, we like to end our ceremonies the way that we open them. So go ahead and prep yourself. Thank you guys so much. Like I said, our thoughts, prayers, and love and wishes to all those fighting with the badness in the West Coast right now. You guys are awesome. We love you. If there's any way we can help, just let us know. Here is, he's coming to chair attack. Oh, let me roll it. How did he do? D12.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a D12. Hold up. I fucked it up. I fucked that up. D17 AC. Dude, you wrecked me. I'm down. All right. Do you have a lighter with you guys?
No.
Oh, look what we did. All right. So I don't think I have an extra one. We ruined it. Here we go.
I have 2.
There, yeah, Gus. Jake has 2. Do one for my man Gus here,
Yeah.
guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Same bat place, same bat channel. We are Weed&d. This is Gus 2 Blunts Langley. I'm Brandon McClanahan, Brenna Folger, Drew Yanamori, Jake Taylor, Abby Dandy, Isaac Sita, all the wonderful team, Sandy Stein's music, Ed Palomino's designs, Vlad Kolonic's freaking art, Isaac running the cams and making it happen. So thank you guys so much. We love you, and we will see you next week, baby. Let's take these lighters, hold them up, and go.
That's hot.
Lighters up. Thanks for playing fucking D&D with us, guys. Blow it up.
Gus, how did it feel to sit in the DM chair?
Do it
Oh,
again.
it was weird.
Shit's tight.
Oh.
Have it.
Is it full? I was assuming
Take
it was
some.
going to fall apart.
West.
So bad, y'all. I'll be right back.
You go pee pee.
I go pee pee now.
You go pee pee
Right.
now.
I'm not gonna
I
tell you
could
guys
be
about all the
so
horrible
random.
things that are written about all of us behind this screen.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah. Slanders. Just terrible things.